Hello, this is going to be a review of these 5 air purifiers. This is based on tons of research and looking around. I spent over 10 hours so over the span of 3-4 weeks looking around on the market and seeing what's the best options out there. I concluded in the medium range, these are the best. Based on all the reviews. Obviously, there are also other good ones, but the 2 most recommended are these 2, the Koei Air Mega and the Winix 5500-2. Now, personally, after all my research testing, I think the best option is the AM80, which is, if you were to call Winix, they would tell you it's the same as the 5500-2. That's what they would tell you, they're built the same. However, I noticed the AM80 has much better fan. At the lowest fan setting, which is the sleep mode, the AM80 does not have that, like the bearing sound when the fan is spinning, whereas the 5500-2 has that. So let's get started. One more thing I want to point out is that this is the Levoit 200S, the Levoit Vital 200S. I do not recommend this one because the filter comes as an all-in-one filter. The carbon pellet filter and the HEPA filter are in one piece. That's a big issue because the pellets absorb gases and other stuff, and they're meant to be washable, but you can't wash it because it's in the HEPA. The other problem is when these are full, they actually release the odor back in the air, so it gets really problematic down the line. So that's like a big issue for me. I do not recommend buying any air purifier that has an all-in-one filter. Whereas the rest of these, this for example, the pellet filter is separate from the HEPA, and the pellet filter comes before the HEPA, which I read that extends the life of the HEPA. And then you have a pre-filter to catch larger particles. Anyway, so those are important points to remember and keep in mind. So this is the Air Mega. Actually, there's a newer model of this. So if you were to buy this, buy the newer model because it comes with a better pellet filter. It comes with a better carbon filter, which is pellet based. Actually, I have it right here. So this one is exactly this model number, AP1512HH. Now the newer one, it's the same thing, they just add an S. Newer model of this, and it's Wi-Fi compatible, but I've read that the Wi-Fi option doesn't work, creates tons of issues, and the app isn't very well. But the product itself is very good. This one comes with a the carbon filter is actually just a mesh. It's not a pellet. It's something like this, which has much less surface area to catch gases and odors, versus the newer model's filter, it's just a pellet, which is much better. I actually just, well, I'm not gonna open it up because it takes a lot of time because it's not made for it, but it'll fit. The newer model's filters will fit on this, but you can see the pellets there. Anyway, the Air Mega comes with a dust filter, whereas the Winx, they come with a particle filter. Not the filter, the sensor. Like these come with a particle sensor, these come with a dust sensor, and you can actually adjust the sensor's sensitivity on these by clicking both of these, speed and ionizer. And number 1 is the most aggressive, as I remember. Now, one issue with all of these combined is that they all have something called ionizer, which I read online that it creates a harmful gas known as ozone. Now, they said that it's within the EPA's minimum requirement or whatever, so it's not harmful. But I would rather not have any ozone at all, even it's just super small parts per billion or whatever. One good thing about the Koei Air Mega is that by default the ionizer does not turn on. You have to turn it on yourself. Whereas the Winx, all 3 of them, turns on by default. So you have to make sure to turn it off every time you turn it on. And the Levoit, it doesn't come with an ionizer. But however, these all have much superior filter, in my opinion. And another thing, all of these, I think, from what I've read, they all have 250 CFM fans, which means they pull 250 cubic feet of air per minute and filter it. So these are ideal for bedrooms, small rooms. Yeah. Anyway, with all of those being in mind, let me just do a quick show of their sounds, of the fan sound. So setting number 1, pretty tolerable, you can barely hear it. Two and 3, much more aggressive, and 3 is like jet fan speed. It's very strong. Now this does not have a sleep mode, it has an echo mode. But the problem with all of them is that at these echo or sleep modes, the fan spins so slow you can hear the bearing sound, which is really annoying. So it indicates a poor quality fan, in my opinion. But that's about it for these. Whereas the AM80 is the only one that does not give you that bearing sound at the lowest speed. And I'll show you that in a bit. I'm not sure if this mic can pick up the sounds very well. So obviously the plasma wave on these is the ionizer. So you have to turn it off. Obviously I do not recommend using the ionizer on these. So it starts with auto mode, and based on what the sensor picks up, it ramps up the fan speed. There's the noise. So level 2, level 3, level 4. So the 55-2, I think it's not very loud, it's very good, but the only problem with it is that if you go to sleep mode, again you'll get that horrible bearing noise. And I don't think this mic picks up that low decibel of a noise, but it's there. So also this one, the 5500-2, comes with a remote control, but the problem with it is that it's actually very bad quality of remote. This is a remote for my light bulbs, and you can tell it's just much better quality, much well built than the Winix's remote. And anyway, it stopped working after like a couple of uses, and I've read reviews that it's not a good remote, it dies out. So, not so great. Also, you cannot disable the ionizer from the remote, you have to physically disable it. That's another negative. However, filtration-wise, it comes with a very nice pre-screen, so always a big plus. Then the carbon pellet filter, then the HEPA filter. And I read that this is the best setup. So the HEPA should be last from the intake, then the carbon, then the pre-screen, and this should extend the life of the HEPA filter. Now we come to the AM80. I think this is the winner. This is the best there is. Only because when you go to sleep mode, are we in sleep? Yeah, we are in sleep. The fan does not give you that rattling noise that is really obnoxious. Like when you're sleeping, you will hear it. You will not have a good sleep because it's just rattling. And I have very sensitive hearing, so it really bothers me that those have it. But this one does not have it. I'm very comfortable with this. The only downside is you physically have to disable the ionizer every time you turn it on. This is the ionizer, or P stands for plasma wave. So just make sure you disable that every time. I've also read reviews online, or I think on Reddit, how you can open it up and unplug the ionizer, but that would void your warranty, so do that at your own discretion. Again, fan noises, setting 2, 3. So very, very quiet in comparison with all of them. And the fan is really good quality. Again, the same as the 5500-2. Pre-screen, pellet filter, and the HEPA. And I called Winix. They said the filters for the AM80 are cross-compatible with the 5500-2. They said they're literally the same thing, just different looks, but I don't really agree with that. I think this has much better fan. Now this is the AM90, and this sounds weird, but the AM90 is older than AM80. The AM80 is much newer. It's the newer model, which doesn't make sense because this is 90, this is 80, but whatever. The AM90 comes with a mesh carbon filter, not a pellet, so much less surface area to trap odors and gases, certain gases. And this is the HEPA. Now, the good side of the AM90 is that it's Wi-Fi compatible, and the Wi-Fi is really great. The app is amazing. You have all sorts of options, power. You can disable the ionizer from the app. So there you can see it's off. Control the speed from here. I think that's like a huge bonus for the AM90. And Winix would not tell you this, but the filters for the AM80 is cross-compatible with this, the AM90. That's high speed. That's turbo. So it's also quite quiet in operation. It's very good. Again, my only downside with this, if this did not have this certain issue I'll bring up right now, I would have went with it. But the issue with this is when you go to sleep mode, like the rest of them, when the fan gets super low, like it's spinning very slow, right? You will hear a bearing noise coming from the AM90. It's gonna take a while to get there, and again, I'm not sure this mic picks up that sound. It's very, very low, but you will hear it at night when everything's super quiet, or if you just have very sensitive hearing like I do. But I can hear it right now. So that's about it for the AM90, and you can disable it from here. If Winix would make an AM80 and just add the same Wi-Fi chip from this onto this, this would be a winner, like top tier winner over all air purifiers in medium range on the market, in my opinion. And I would have went with this, but again, the bearing noise is really repulsive. Now, the last thing I want to review is the Levoit Vital 200S. I've mentioned in the beginning how I do not recommend it for the simple reason of having the carbon filter with the HEPA all-in-one. And I've read the purifiers with the HEPA being last is the best for the HEPA, extending the life of the HEPA. However, this also comes with a Wi-Fi option, remote control through Wi-Fi app. It's the VSync app. You can enable it. This does not have an ionizer, so you don't even have to worry about that. That's speed 1, 2, 3, and 4. So they all have very powerful fans. Again, only issue with this is the only two issues: the filter, and when you go to sleep mode, and they all automatically go to sleep mode when you turn off the lights. You can hear the bearing noise of the fan. So that's really annoying. And you can turn it off from there. So based on my own experience with all of these and my own research, I conclude the AM80, the Winix AM80 is the winner. It gets number 1. Number 2 goes to the Koei Air Mega, because the ionizer is not on by default, but just do not buy this one. So this is exactly the Koei Air Mega AP1512HH. If you were to buy this, buy the newer model, which just ends with an S. So you type that, add the Air Mega, and it will come up. Buy the newer model. The newer model doesn't even come with an ionizer, so you don't even have to worry about that. The newer model also has the better filter. That's why I recommend the newer model. I do not recommend the 5500-2 because it's the sister or brother of the AM80. They're the same, but the AM80 is just the better. The AM90 for me don't work out. Some people might tolerate the bearing noise it produces. I did not. This is great because you can just disable the ionizer from the app. You don't have to constantly walk to it and do that. I do not recommend the Levoit Vital 200S unless they change their filters. So if Levoit changes their filters, make them separate, then yeah, I'll recommend them. If you also can just tolerate that bearing noise, which I do not. But for sensitive sleepers, AM80, number 1. Not so sensitive, second best option, Koei Air Mega. And the one that ends with this, AP1512HH. Yes. Thank you for watching, and I hope this is really helpful for you. I spent a lot of time researching all of these, and I'll leave some links and some other comments below. I hope this is helpful. Thanks. Take care. Bye.